A tester isn't supposed to be exciting. It sits in the van, comes out, does its job and goes back again. No drama, no applause, just numbers on a screen. But what if the slowest part of your day wasn't the job, the paperwork or even the customer? What if it was this? That quiet stretch where you're stood there waiting for a test to finish, watching a progress bar crawl like it's got all the time in the world while you don't. Because when you add it up across a board, a house, a full day, that few extra seconds becomes minutes, minutes become hours, and suddenly your tester isn't just measuring circuits, it's eating your time. So here's the question. So what happens if you take all that waiting and cut it down? Today we're looking at the brand new installation tester from Metrel, and its big claim is simple. It's faster. Not slightly quicker, not you might notice it, properly noticeably faster. The kind of speed that could actually change how long a job takes. But is it just quick or is it good? Let's find out. Now this is Metrel's new entry-level tester, the MI3136, although entry-level feels a bit like calling a hot hatch just a runaround, because one look at it and you've got a full colour screen, a completely new form factor. It doesn't exactly scream basic. I've been putting it through its paces over the last few weeks on real jobs, and compared to its predecessor, the MI3125, one thing jumped out immediately: speed. In fact, the first time I used it, I genuinely thought I'd done something wrong. It finished so quickly, I double-checked the result, and it's not just faster than its predecessor, it's faster than every other tester we've featured on the channel. So let's jump straight in with a loop test. The 3136 takes about 7 seconds, the MI3125 around 12 seconds. Now 5 seconds might not sound huge, but even here it's noticeably quicker. You press the button and before you've even properly looked up, it's done. But now let's move on to an RCD test. The 3136, 22 seconds. The 3125, 54 seconds. Now that wakes things up. Over half a minute saved on a single test. And when you've got a board with 10 RCBOs, that's not just time saved, that's kettle on territory. One board in and you've earned yourself a proper tea break. Then stretch that out across a year, say 1,000 tests, you're looking at about a full day back. Not a day of paperwork, not a day of chasing materials. A full glorious no apologies day that belongs in the pub. And when you start putting a value on that time, this tester could quite literally pay for itself. These faster test sequences build on something Metrel have already been doing really well, making the whole testing process smoother, not just quicker. You've got the auto test sequences, which really come into their own on things like EV chargers. Instead of jumping between tests and second guessing what's next, the tester just walks you through it in a logical order. Functional tests, electrical tests, step by step. Everything's stored as you go, with really clear pass or fail indication. No head scratching, no missed steps, no flicking back through notes, trying to remember what you did 5 minutes ago. And this is where it gets even smarter, because those auto sequences aren't just for specialist stuff like EV chargers. They carry right through into your everyday testing with Auto TN and Auto TT. So instead of bouncing between different test modes, trying to remember what comes next, you just select the earthing system and hit test. On a TN system, it'll run through your loop impedance, ZE and prospective fault current automatically. Switch over to TT and it completely changes how it works. It uses a no-trip loop test, so you're not constantly dumping the RCD, and it focuses on your earth electrode instead. No menu hopping, no second guessing, no breaking your flow, just test done, move on. Now aside from the new form factor, the other big upgrade is right here on the front. A full colour LCD screen. You've got button control or touchscreen navigation, and it just makes everything feel that bit more intuitive. It's something we've seen on Metrel's higher end kit before, but bringing it into this level of tester is a big move. Now one concern people have had in the past with colour screens and backlights is battery life. More screen, more drain, more time hunting for a charger. But Metrel have tackled that as well. This unit's running a new lithium-ion battery, giving you longer testing time, and when you do need a top-up, it's USB charging. So whether you're in the van, on site, or even borrowing a charger off your mate, you're never really far from getting it powered back up. This new form factor also changes how you use it day to day, because if you don't fancy wearing your tester all day, looking like you're collecting fares on a bus, you don't have to. There's a seriously strong magnet built into the back, so you can just stick it straight onto any steel surface. And on a UK install, that's never far away. Consumer unit, tray, trunking, it just parks itself there, nice and solid. So instead of juggling the tester and leads, it stays put, exactly where you need it. Of course, testing doesn't end on site, because while you're out here doing the work, someone back at base is usually picking up the paperwork, turning results into something the customer actually sees. And this is where it gets quite clever. Metrel app on your phone, you just scan the QR QR code on the tester's display. It pairs up over Bluetooth and you can pull all that test data straight onto your device. From there, it's a couple of taps and it's off to the Metrel cloud. Back to the office, ready to be turned into certificates. No cables, no memory sticks, no "I'll send it later" that never quite happens. And it works both ways. They can send you a schedule of tests, say for a distribution board, straight to the tester. So you arrive on site already loaded with what needs doing. So yes, it saves you time on site, but it also means the clean coats back in the office can stay exactly where they are, firmly parked behind a desk, tea in hand. If you want to check out the full spec or get a closer look at the Metrel MI 3136, you'll find all the details down in the description below. And as always, we want to hear from you. If you've got questions about this tester, features you want us to dig into, or even challenges you're running into on site when it comes to testing, drop them in the comments, because if it's something you're dealing with, chances are everyone else is too.